Hello, everyone. Surprise to you, surprise to me. I've been in very deep inner work with Gaia, and when I've shared this with you, or even during this, I'd invite you to do the same. We are in the most incredible juxtaposition, is the word I want to use, for this time, where we are. Can you feel it? It's like I'm nervous and excited all at the same time. So hello Nat, and hello Jenny Lynn, and hello Anna. So I've been in this place of this deep contemplation about the emerald symbolism that I was shown, and what it might mean, and where it took me. And I feel like I've been way back in ancient times of creation, unthreading, undoing, rediscovering more of who you are, more of who I am, more of who we are, and more of who we are here, and what is our rightful I haven't eaten yet, and it's midday. Rightful reclamation. This is our rightful reclamation. And so I have a lot, and then a little bit more. So this, I have a lot and a little bit more. That is the essence of the truth of it, I tell you. And so let me begin by referencing back to the vision that I had the other morning, where I did not see the hexagon veil, and it had disappeared, and I was given the message about that. The hexagon veil is back. I have to tell you, the hexagon matrix is back, but it's different. So I wanted to talk just briefly about colour, because this is something, the colours that are coming in now. Gaia spoke to me a long time ago. She said, so I find this rather delightful, actually. She said that when we would see the equivalent of the aurora borealis across the earth, that we could know that was a strong signal that we were beginning to experience our fifth dimensional place. And so here in New Zealand, we do not have that, and we have been. And I haven't seen it, but there have been people who have photographed that. So I haven't seen it where I am, although I've seen some pretty spectacular skies. But we are definitely having what is called the Australis Aureolis. So these are the southern lights, the equivalent of the northern lights. And we've been having that here, and that is what Gaia said, and here we are. So here we are having, and that's what she said to me a number of years ago, that we could take that as a strong signal. So that's one thing about the colour. What will happen to that further? We will begin to see that more in our physical existence. We will begin to see, I want to call it this luminosity, not just on people, but on plants and on other beings, as we become the illumined self. And so I was showing that in terms of when we have this fifth dimensional, I'm all nervous. I'm nervous and I'm cold. I'm just all of a sudden got really, really cold. I'm sure I'm doing some of this. I get cold when I'm transmuting things. And so we're at this place now. So it's like, if you imagine, it has this fluorescence, this effervescence, this luminosity. That's what we're going to be seeing as our plants are returned to their vibrancy, as our trees are returned to their essence. The nature is going to have this effervescence, this luminosity, this glow, this it's not just that we will see their energetic field, it's that it has this sort of glow up. So it's nature. Our nature is being allowed to become more vibrant. So we've got this emerald coming in. There's a lot to do and say about it. It's incredibly powerful. You'll note that in Gaia's cave that there are 4 crystal forms, apart from the fact that her hair is crystalline. But there is, in her hand is a golden star tetrahedron, golden healer in a star tetrahedron shape. And a star tetrahedron is 2 pyramids intersected with one another and represents the Merkaba. And then there is amethyst, of course, the platform on which she sits, and then sapphire and emerald. So I am going to be referencing the emerald and some of the sapphire and some of the, oh yeah, I forgot. Am I going to go and get it? Yes, just forgive me. I'll be 30 seconds. So just forgive me for putting that over Gaia for a moment. So this is a painting I did of the lights, the codes, the colours that have been coming into the planet. So I did this last year, and it was of the, well, I finished it last year, but it was of the colours of the year before. So I was seeing these colours coming in 2021. And so here is the sapphire, the blue, it's shredded with the mother energy as well. And then this is the emerald. So I'm not going to talk about that any more than that, but these is what is streaming in now, the emerald codes through the emerald lights, through the emerald veins, through the emerald dragons, through the emerald frequencies, and they all link in. They've all taken their part, and now we are back to these emerald codes. These are the early foundational creation codes. Some of you will have been responsible for bringing these in, no doubt, or a fractalized version of you, or you are a fractalized version of the being who did, and some of you will remember. But we are really back now, coming into this homo luminous, to the 0 point, to the rebirth, to the regeneration, to the resurrection, I even want to use the word the remuneration, because we are going to be having that experience as well. But right now, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, let me just say good morning to everyone who's here. I'll start at the bottom. So good morning, Carolyn and Billy and Carla, and good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Anna. Oh yes, I spoke to Anna a little while ago. She sent me a message. She said, "You sound like a planet," which just cracked me up. But I have been really deep and expanded. Good morning, Jackie and Sarah and Harmony and Diane and Nat and Jenny Lynn. So thank you all for joining me on such short notice. But I tell you what, this is maybe the most exciting news I've ever had to share. Morena Sasha. So welcome, everybody. So yeah, here we are with these emerald codes coming in now, and these color waves and coming in through the crystals, through the dragons, through the codes, through the light rays, and bringing about alchemy to this higher level, bringing about abundance and prosperity and harmony and harmonics and this higher heart, higher consciousness, higher divine love. This is what we are, you are, I do. I'm just reading Andrea saying, lol, you do sound like a planet. I've really been pretty out of it. I think I've been in contemplation and writing for the last 4 hours. So yeah, all of these, I'll just give you the sort of overview and then we'll get into more of the detail. But yeah, bringing in alchemy, the crystal of the emerald, the covenants that come with that, the crystal palace, the crystal temple, the crystal ray, the crystal heart, the higher heart. The emerald crystal represents very strongly the higher heart, not just the heart, but the higher heart. That has become exceptionally clear and obvious to me over the last couple of days. So they link into the ancient codes, the ancient tablets, the ancient emerald codes, rays, covenants, and creation waves. And the emerald grid lines as well. So this is us really, truly, magically and organically coming home to self. This is really what we're doing. And the reason that we can do it is because of other things that have happened that I'll speak about, but that give us the right, the permission, the safety valve to be able to do that. So really feel into, while you're sitting here in this space, in my planetary orbit, who am I? Be asking yourself, who am I? Who am I really? Where do I really come from? What am I really here to do? Because we are in this regenesis, this rebirth. And so what I'm showing is that we do this and then we come home to our divine counterpart. We come into this healed wholeness to balance and freedom. And then we rebirth through the union. And we are arisen, re-risen, arisen, back to who we came as these, well, in this countenance, I want to say. And to be honest, I'm not even sure what that means. But I will say it and I'll look it up later. But we've come into this countenance, this representation of self as the individuation, but coming into the union. This is about, we're on the edges of this, we're on the precipice of this. It's like, hey, this is going to happen now. This is a, written in stone, I want to say. So, yeah, be asking yourself these sorts of questions, connect into Gaia, drop on down into the cave, connect to here, and be asking your higher heart, what is my mission and purpose? What is the guidance of your higher heart? And I want to say that now the thing to go to all the time is, what would love do? So I asked, why was I shown the emerald dragon, the emerald cut crystal, the emerald order? And yesterday I spoke to someone who has been and is a client, and she comes on the channel, and she did this workshop, this twin alchemy workshop, and she said to me that she'd really like to share this with me. So yesterday her and I spent a few hours talking about it, and one of the things that she told me that happened through this work that she did that was really profound, like I cried, I hadn't seen this, is that the twins made a covenant to God, whereby we volunteered or were asked to split, to bring love, to return the earth to love. And the words that came with it were love through diversity. So we agreed to split our soul in two in order to hold that level of love, so that it was multiplied, and that when we come together, as we've spoken about here often, it's this, as Gaia says, it's times 100. And that this was what was done before God and under the auspices of Mary Magdalene and Master Jesus as the original twins, that we did that, that we agreed to be split in two in order that we could create this magnificent love that could come back and save the world from, or save the earth from its entire spiraling down into disintegration. So know that, you're here for a huge purpose. And so the other thing that Alex shared with me that came through with what she was doing when I was just, in the midst of having done some of this writing about the emerald, is that, they're part of the primary waters. And so this fits in very well with all of the other information that I've been given about it being the early waves of creation. So we've been in the midst of this massive extra removal of toxicity from the planet, which may have been showing up for you. Like maybe some old patterns, some shitty behavior, some not feeling great about some ways of memories, really. Memories of what you used to be like coming in, and like really interesting synchronicities. So I had this experience on Sunday when I went to a family luncheon, and all of a sudden, and so then, and my son said, oh, do you want to come home? And so I went to his house, and on the way there, I'm like, this is so bizarre. Here I am. I'm driving down. I drove down three streets that I used to live on in my 20s when I was flatting. I drove down three streets on which the house that I lived in at various times existed. It was just all so full of deja vu, and then I've had things come up. I can't. I would share them if I could remember them. I've been so in all of this, but some things coming up and thinking, oh yeah, that's kind of old. That's kind of old, that way of thinking. I wonder why that's come up. But there's all of this coming up. So the Emerald Order. So this is Gaia. Yesterday. So yesterday was an 11 day. You might be in it today. The 29th. Well, it's an 11 day. Sorry, an 11 day on a 3 universal day. So this is Gaia, the Emerald Order. The early creation codes were delivered to the earth by those who come from the Emerald Order. Yeah, see, Nat saying it makes you want to cry. Just yeah, love through diversity. It's beautiful, isn't it, Angel? Sorry, I'm really I don't know, I can't even describe it. I feel so expanded and so excited and a bit breathless. So this links to the house or the order of Melchizedek. Now, a lot of our creation codes come from there. I'll just speak it as it's come. I'm not telling you that this is the full comprehensive work of all of this. I don't know it, but this is what I have been given so far. So, the Christed order of light. The frequency of the higher heart is that of divine, let me turn this way now, is that of divine love. And this was brought to the earth by this order in the early seeding of humanity. This developed connection for humanity between the divine love of the cosmos and the personal heart of humanity. It links to prosperity and abundance and a belief in the ability of the cosmos to provide, so that this lack consciousness which has existed upon the earth doesn't exist when one is in the frequency of the higher heart. So use this to assist you in creating appreciation and gratitude for the abundant nature of the universe to provide you with all that you need and the gifts of the divine, which is not necessarily money, it's wealth and the vigor, expansiveness of wealth. The time has come for this, for the return of this, for a re-beginning, for a renewal through the waters of consciousness. This links also, if you have a connection to this, I do, because I'm working on with the 11th ray. This links to the house of Rikosi, so Master Rikosi's. It links to the Emerald Order. He links to the Emerald Order, to the Emerald Ray, and his beloved is Lady Sarah. That's my understanding. And Lady Sarah is the child of Master Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I was reading some of these comments. I removed, oh my gosh. Let me go back because I think this interweaving of this is so crucial. Oh, you're very welcome, Sarah. Thank you. Reclamation happened in Anna's meditation last night. Andrea has been collecting pictures, and so is Nat. Is that of the colours? Oh, yes. Mostly green now. Different colours like pink as Andrea's experience in Canada. Well, that's amazing because those are the heart colours. Good morning, Carla, and hello, Billy. Morena, Sasha. Right, I've said and seen hello, said hello to all of those people. So, good morning, Sheberg. And I apologise if I have not pronounced that correctly. Good night to you. So Carolyn's saying she removed her heart walls last night, releasing huge anger and resentment for the feminines, and that her womb is also feeling this. Yeah, because it's part of the rebirth. Billy's saying she keeps pulling the Emerald Tablet card this week. Nat's saying she makes her want to cry. Hello, Beachweave. Yes, thank you, Angel. Maybe that's rare chakras just activated, Carolyn. Andrew's saying, yeah, my flame. And it's saying, you're blowing my mind. I was having this conversation today and was saying that it doesn't seem like I have any other identity but love. Like, that's who I am. I am love embodied. Yes, how beautiful. And just before that, Anna was saying she had a conversation with Jesus and Mary Magdalene, all that you are saying she has experienced over the past 24 hours. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Jackie saying she was shown energy is funneled and siphoned when we worship outside of ourselves, when I was praying to a crucifix. Okay. Well, I think it all depends on how you are working with intention, but certainly it all sits inside us. Fiona's saying she just heard someone else speaking about the Emerald Heart online. Oh, lovely. I think we are all the Emerald Order. Possibly. So I shall continue. So, so Lady Sarah, the child of Master Jesus and Mary Magdalene, is one of the Kohan of the 11th ray, and the divine counterpart of Master Ricoses from the House of Ricoses in Hungary. And the 11th ray holds the emerald wave. And this links to the restoration of this level of consciousness to the earth. This return to the self, to one's own mastery, is assisted by this crystalline emerald light ray that is beginning to pour into the planet now. And also by the gemstone. It also assists through bringing in blessings and healings that you can bring to yourself and to others, because it enables you and me in our hearts to go into deeper love, into more compassion. And then I want to tell you that the order of the Emerald Dragon, so the Emerald Dragon that I saw is the most magnificent, like these huge emerald eyes. And Gaia, let me just get this down again. I always feel a bit rude when I cover her face. But, you can buy copies of her now, hopefully, on my website. The shop is hopefully going. But her eyes are made of crystal, and I've probably not ever told you that, but they're made of both sapphire and emerald crystal. It took me a long time to paint them to be kind of housing the energy of both of those. But the order of the Emerald Dragon pierces consciousness to very deep levels for purification. So here we go. This is it, right? All this ancient stuff coming up to be looked at, to be released, to be transmuted. This is what this energy is doing. This is why, well, if you were like me, and I'm sorry, I can't remember them, but I remember thinking, this is old. This is an old pattern. This is an old way of thinking. This is an old response. And just all me here, doing that on my own in my own space, coming to notice that. The order, sorry, I'm going to read that again. The order of the Emerald Dragon pierces consciousness to very deep levels for purification in readiness to receive the Christos oils. Get that? Perfect in this time to assist the physical heart to be recovering from imbalances and diseases. So we know that on one level that these vaccinations have had an impact on the heart, and this emerald light, this emerald ray will help to bring clearing and balancing to that. So definitely this deeper purification for all layers and levels is making itself felt. Let me catch up here. So Anna was replying to Carolyn saying she feels that strongly as well, that we're all the Emerald Order. Are you referencing those of us who are here on the channel, or everybody in the world, you two? Nat saying this morning she was pit-side grounding before work and saw a green ray pillar come down through her top chakra, through her central channel and down into the earth. How magnificent. Sarah, yesterday when she was in breath class for an hour, all she could see was the colours in my painting. The gold and the emerald were the most prevalent and so incredibly bright. Beautiful. And Carolyn's saying inner sight. Yeah, so the inner sight definitely was enabled by the blue light. And so I've written some things about that. Okay. So Carolyn is saying, and Anna's saying, I meant us here, and Carolyn is saying on this channel, I think we are the order of birth. Yeah, you're right. I get that you're right. I feel like I've been in birthing, breathing, that's for certain. So, I think this is where I'm up to. Yeah, so definitely this deeper purification from all layers and levels that's making itself felt. Your awareness drawn. Okay. Your awareness may be drawn to old situations and people through memories and synchronicities. Wonder what that word says. I don't know. Anyway, let's say to look at these by observing, feeling, healing, dealing, and clearing. So you look at it, you observe it, you feel it, you might have a little rerun through what occurred, what was said, what was felt. Feel it through your body, witness it moving and leaving, breathe through it, enable it to be dissolved, check and see if there's anything else. It can be that simple. If you are not in this introspection, in the deep dive of your internal self, then it is time to do so. To hand over to your higher self. The external world is full of drama and is an unnecessary distraction from the real work, which is you and your cellular clearing and healing and physical upgrades. And if you haven't gone and listened to the Human 2.0 video that was done on the 21st, go and listen to that, and that will give you some guidance about at least some of the things that have been going on. I mean, we've spoken about other things like brain upgrades and about vision upgrades at other times, and probably some other things. Oh, the wings. I might do a little video about the wings. So you are going to do this, look at, experience, explore these upgrades through all levels of your body, and you just call in your mighty I Am presence and your higher self to be the overseers, to be the assistant, to guide you through the process. You are invited to step into your limitless, infinite, unbounded, unconditional loving self. So this diamond plasma light that has been coming through, Gaia is saying, is the delivery mechanism for much of what is earthbound for higher dimensional shifts and transmutation. Occasionally, this is flooded with particular spectrums for specific purpose. So she's saying the ruby light has been coming through. So I know lots of people have been speaking about the ruby light, but I haven't. That I asked her about that. I said, tell me about the ruby light, because it hasn't come into my consciousness. And I believe it's because I've been working on this information about the emerald light. So let me read that. The ruby light has been coming through as representation of the divine feminine Christ light, an ancient bloodline through the Magdalene lineage and codes, and many feel a direct and personal connection to this. So how many of you on here feel that, have that experience? Now it's annoying me, I've got this angle over my shoulder. Too visual I am, sorry. Carolyn's saying, did a picture of green, yellow, blue and pink in between the tree of life. It's the new template. 4 colours, 4 directions. Fiona saying, oh my God, it's the wings definitely coming up for her at the moment. Yes. Okay. Honestly, I'm like, sorry, it's probably interrupting and annoying, but it's just my reality at the moment. Angel connects to that lineage. So this, along with the, I'm sorry, I've written this, I've been in this moved space, this expanded space, and even rereading it, it's moving my insides. This, along with the greater recognition of the Christos, of the crystalline, of the connection to this energy, is returning to the planet and has enabled greater clearing and purification to both the heart and the blood. Fiona feeling the breathlessness, and saying she's always felt connected to the Mary Magdalene. Also, this has had a significant impact on the ability for many to speak their truth, firstly to self, and as this is embodied, they can then speak it to others. The blue light, so now we're to the blue light, the sapphire, the first ray. The first ray deals with thy will and God's, and I always get confused with that. My will and God's will. It's the balance. That's what the first ray has to deal with, is this. They're here to lead, to initiate, to bring in truth. They work with the sword of truth often, many of them. And that ray holds that. It's finding the balance between the will of the divine and the will of the human. So this is continuing. This is channeled from Gaia. The blue light, which played a significant role in 2021 and 2022, created opening to the receipt of the higher, as more flooding of both the white light of purification and the gold light of Christ consciousness was being brought to the planet. Note that the Christ consciousness is the Christos of the heart energy. It's not belonging to Christianity. It's the Christos of the heart-led life, not of religion. So back to the blue light. So that was just it's a weaving. The blue light began the journey of greater clarification of truth. True truth. Not the distorted truth. A movement from the distorted representation of truth. And here now we move to the higher, to the emerald, to the higher heart, to purification of purpose and divinity, of right action, of prosperity and of abundance. to bring prosperity and freedom and unification. All this will begin to unfold before your eyes from yourself and from the outer, or from yourself and then the outer. And yes, correct. Archangel Michael works with the sword of truth and is on the first ray. As we are reclaiming and returning to our original selves, our original divine blueprints, connected back to the original Christos families, the universal families from the order of Melchizedek. So now I want to speak about the Earth Star Crystalline Chakra. So you will maybe have heard me speak about, just put some space here to prop this up, the Earth Star Crystalline Chakra. How I see the Earth Star Crystalline Chakra is separate to the ordinary Earth Chakra. And the Earth Star Crystalline Chakra, if you can envisage a fat mountain bike wheel without the tire, that's the easiest way to describe it. So you think about it, it sits parallel underneath the earth, about the top of it is about 600 millimeters underneath the earth. Each of you have one of those. They were brought into the earth in 2012, and in 2017, when I was going to Egypt and I was going to meditation with Glenn Lewis, there were three of us who were at that meditation group who were going to Egypt on the same tour, and he channeled through some jobs for them to do while they were in Egypt. And so I thought, oh, he'll tell me I'll have a job, and he hadn't. So the last time I saw him before we left, I said to him, oh, just curious, do I have a job to do? And he said, yes. And I said, well, you haven't told me. And he said, oh, I thought I'd told you. And I said, no. And he said, okay, well, you're to anchor in the Earth Star Chakra, the new Earth Star Chakra, into the floor of I'm trying to think what it's called. There's a whole history of me with this, which I'll talk about another time. But my one of my very first soul recollections is that I am an aspect of the King of Khufu, which is the being who created, had built in his time the Pyramid of Giza. So in his chamber, so there's a whole experience that I had in there, but in the king's chamber, that's what I'm trying to speak about, because there's this coffin there, but anyway, the body's never been in there. But I was to lay it into there, and I don't believe that he knew about my connection with that. But anyway, so we were in the king's chamber. We went in there at dawn. We did this massive ceremony in there. We had the most incredible sounding going on. It's just phenomenal construction. I laid the crystalline Earth Star Chakra for the earth into the floor energetically. Of course, I wasn't there with my chisel, of the king's chamber in the Pyramid of Giza, and so that activated it for the earth. And so our personal ones think this, okay? So fat mountain bike wheel without the tire, and encrusted on it are all of these jewels. So God showed me a while ago that there were these new spectrums coming, and they came in two color spectrums, one related to the feminine and one related to the masculine. And so this is what I see on this wheel. I see, when I'm tuning into people, this is what I see. I see the crystals on it. So the feminine crystals, they are opalescent, they are the pearlescent, they are the soft, effervescent, barely discernible colours. They hold those, and they're oval and rounded, and they look like opals and pearls, and they're just the softest. In the masculine colour spectrum, it sits in the deep intensity of the jewel colours, of the gemstones, of the sapphire, of the ruby, of the emerald, the deep saturated colours, and they sit, but they look like if you've taken a raw crystal and broken it into pieces, into fragments. They sit like that on the masculine spectrum, and we each have these. We each have the masculine and the feminine spectrum on this crystalline star chakra, but they're chunky and raw and pointy. You know, they have all that faceted. They are not polished. Although we see the luster of it. So I was asking her about that this morning. So she says this: I want to tell you, this is not complete. I just needed to come and share. So the feminine principles hold in the feminine Earth Star chakra that is to do with creation. So even when I was writing this, I just felt so moved. So I'll just be quiet and read. So the feminine hold the principles of creation, that all that is created must be held in balance and consideration of the whole, that one's power in this ability must be held in the principle of what is in the overall highest good for all soul development and growth, that all elements and components must be granted sovereignty and consideration in terms of its contribution to the greater whole, from the molecular symbiosis up. And the masculine, they are to use the power of creation of the feminine to anchor into the physical, to grow, to probe, to activate, to merge and refine, and to maintain balance. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then, this is the last little bit, the Creatrix Matrix is coming into form as our higher dimensional new earth. Whilst this has taken blows of interference and destruction, the toxic portals of these demonic interferences are finally cleared, and the last of the miscreant energy is being dispersed. The divine warriors of the light have been magnificent and have had to perform again and again in battles thought won. At last, you can rest. The illumination for humanity is assured, and the Christos formation is finally anchored. The holders of the Christos Sophia codes and principles return unto the law of one to our planet. So that, my friends, is that. Oh, I feel to bring me to Toshi Atakana Iato. Isha Naranaha Iato Ashi. nakanasi. Etiarana atoata. Ishishia nakanasi. Etianarata. Ekiashia no yakata. Ishiatia kanasi. Etiarana atakataoa. Toa zisishia tatakanana ati atatata. Akiashatata. Akashishia na atatuya kana shisha nakatata katata shi etia na ishi etiara nakatata shiti kana atakanara. Take a breath. So wish you a magnificent day in the receipt of all that is coming. And go gently with yourself and know that we're right on the edges of this. We really are. We're on the edges of divine union. We're on the edges of planetary ascension. We're on the edges of having greater saturation of our fifth dimensional experience. And we're on the edges of watching the dissolution of more out of our experience. So choose the higher, choose the higher, choose the higher, and ask, what would love do? Yes, we are on the threshold of home. We are indeed. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here, holding space, bringing the codes, anchoring the codes. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Jasmine. Yes, Angel, indeed. All right. Much love to you all. You're welcome, Carolyn. Thank you. Thank you, each of you. Each of you here. You each have a role to play. And I would imagine that if you're unsure of that will become obvious to you now, because there's certainly been, what did I see this morning and whose was that? Well, I have to go back and think about that. I saw a slavery anklet, a cuff, a slavery cuff removed from somebody's divine masculine. Yeah, there's been some interesting stuff I've been showing about the divine masculine, the interference. So I just may as well mention it here because a lot of you are divine feminine. That there's been this deliberate intrusion to stop the masculine from becoming who they are. But it's showing up in quite physical ways, that they've been bound or, so today that's a really good example, actually, that anklet cuff with a chain. I saw that come off. And it wasn't your divine masculine, Anna, because I had a conversation with Anna this morning. I think I know who it was now. She's not on here. There's been this, the dark, the satanic, that aspect of our world has known that when these divine counterparts come together, it's all over, baby. And so they have interfered, and I know you will have heard me say this before, that my impression has been I've interfered with the divine masculine because the divine masculine are more in the physical plane, and so it's easier to interfere on the physical plane and for it to look normal. And whereas if we were being interfered with, we would attune in that kind of higher intuitive way. But they have been interfered in this way, and this slavery cuff, so it had a chain on it, and a cuff was a bit like a massive police cuffs, but for the ankle, and I saw that come off. And so I've seen like boxes, intrusions into in the physical, things that have stopped the masculine from coming into their heart, into the feminine heart. There's been these, yeah, they show up as these physical intrusions. So we are watching those be dissolved over the next few. I think that I said to someone I was speaking to about that earlier this week, that Gaia spoke about that being in 5 weeks. Well, we can get trapped in time, but that's what she said. In 5 weeks' time, that these will be dissolved through the frequency of what is coming to the earth, because we're really on these, higher and higher up through the spiral, and so that will dissolve those. But yeah, a lot of the masculine had these sort of, you could call them implants, I suppose. Some of them are, but they look like intrusions into the physical that have held them, that have kept them in lower vibration. Let me see what else is here. Oh, Carolyn's saying she's seen that over and over. Oh, is that what we're talking about here? And Sarah is saying, as the sapphire body gets retrieved, it brings down the satanic matrix big time. Right, yes. So probably, yeah, that actually fits in with what I spoke about in terms of the sapphire light. So thank you very much, Sarah. And Arcto Girl, listening while driving, exciting stuff happening. It's very exciting. It's really exciting. So let's celebrate ourselves. Let's celebrate this time. And bless you and thank you for joining me here. Much love.